Question number 11, Brett Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. I've called Brett Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister.
Order. On this occasion, I'm for the third time calling Brett Hudson, and I expect silence from my right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister for Small Business and asks, what reports has he received on the increased number of self-employed businesses in New Zealand?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Labour market statistics show that the self-employed businesses grew by nearly 35,000 in the year to December 2014. New Zealand's 3.2% GDP growth is enabling business growth across the country. Small and medium enterprises, Mr. Speaker, many of which are self-employed businesses, contribute nearly a third of New Zealand's GDP. Mr. Speaker, the National-led government, amongst many other things, has reduced costs by lowering company tax, reduced ACC levels, made it easier to employ staff with a 90-day trial period, will be helping the way small businesses interact with the government with the New Zealand Small Business Number, has introduced the starting wage. Mr. Speaker, I could go on, but I realise time is limited.
Supplementary.
Fewer businesses than under Labor.
Order. Supplementary question, Brett Hudson.
To the Minister, what are some of the specific government initiatives that are helping small businesses?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr. Speaker, the voluntary 90-day employment trial period reduces the risk for a business of hiring an employee and has been invaluable for the growth of small businesses. The latest data shows that 64% of small and medium enterprises had taken on new staff in the past year using trial periods. The introduction of the starting out wage is another initiative that is lowering the barriers for business to hire young and inexperienced workers.
Supplementary question, Brett Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, what factors might hinder self-employed businesses from employing staff?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Craig Foss.
Mr. Speaker, having greater certainty when hiring staff is essential for small and medium enterprises in New Zealand and, of course, job growth. Dropping the 90-day trial, dropping the starting out wage, Mr. Speaker, would be devastating for the growth of New Zealand small businesses and jobs in New Zealand.
Supplementary question, Jacinda Ardern.
Supplementary to the Minister. Can he confirm there are approximately 61,000 enterprise births in 2008 under a Labor government compared to 48,000 in 2014 under National?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Craig Foss.
I don't have the exact figures with me, but I can confirm, Mr. Speaker, a very large explosion, if you like, in the development of LAQCs, which are small companies set up to exploit tax advantages and distortions set up by the previous Labor government.
Supplementary question. Order. Supplementary question, Jacinda Ardern.
Supplementary to the Minister. Why, when many small businesses are spending more than 10% of their turnover on tax compliance, has his government in 7 years done absolutely nothing to assist, especially when the New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants has laid out a very precise plan of what he could do to assist?
Mr. Speaker,
Craig Foss.
Well, as I noted, Mr. Speaker, National actually lowered the tax rate to 28% for companies and aligned trust and various other taxes to remove the distortions under the previous Labor government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do note, and the member does, and the accountants make a point, cash flow is very important for small businesses, absolutely crucial. So it would really help if people paid their bills when due, such as invoices received and not paid after 4 months, Mr. Little.
Question number 12, Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for the Environment and asks, does the Minister intend to amend the Exclusive Economic Zone and Continental Shelf Environmental Effects Acts 2012 in light of the Environmental Protection Authority rejecting both the iron sands and phosphate seabed mining applications?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, I'm intending to introduce an EEZ amendment bill tomorrow, but the decisions on it do not relate to those two specific applications, and the decisions on it were actually made in early December prior to the legal processes on either of the two applications that the member mentions being finalised.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
To the Minister, was he one of the ministers who Chatham Rock Phosphate's Managing Director Chris Castle said he met with and assured him that changes would be made to the EEZ Act? If so, was seabed mining discussed at that meeting?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, no, I don't recall meeting that application and I would have declined to have done so because the application by Chatham Phosphate is still subject to appeal, that a key component of the EEZ legislation is the decisions on individual consents being made at arm's length by the Environmental Protection Authority. I would note, though, that when the government passed this law, and this is the first time New Zealand's had any law for environmental protection in the EEZ, the Green Party voted against it and said it was a charter for mining.
They would rather have no...
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Did the Minister meet with Chris Castle, and does the Minister agree with Mr Castle, who's quoted in the ODT saying, quote, changes will be made soon, the wheels are already turning, then it's going to get easier, speculating his company may be in a position to submit another mining application to his EPA?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I don't intend to comment on that application. It is still in the period subject to appeal and it's not appropriate when the decision rests independently with the Environmental Protection Authority for me to comment on anything other than the law for which I am responsible.
Point of order.
Point of order, Gareth Hughes.
Mr Speaker, I acknowledge my question had two legs. The second part of the question the Minister said he didn't want to address. I'd ask, Mr Speaker, that the first part, if that's the case, be addressed.
Order, order, order. The rules are quite clear. Supplementary questions should have one question, not two. The Minister chose to answer the second one and certainly address that. And if the member wants to go back and look at Hansard, he'll actually see that the first question he did ask was answered in the previous question anyway. Gareth Hughes, supplementary question.
Can the Minister guarantee changes made to the EEZ Act under his proposed new legislation will not make it easier for seabed miners to gain EPA approval?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the member will note that in the briefing to the incoming government from both the Environmental Protection Authority and also from the Ministry for the Environment, that they expressed some concerns about this new legislation. The government's given consideration to some amendments, but this is a very balanced blue-green government that wants New Zealand to be able to take economic opportunities to grow jobs and incomes, but to do so in an environmentally responsible way. And I can assure the member that if there are amendments to the EEZ, they will be consistent with that philosophy.
That's right.
That concludes question for oral answer. I call on Government Order of the Day.